Good afternoon, County Commissioners. My name is Justin Markell, and I am here with my wonderful partner, Crystal Donnelly. And before we get into our 2017-2018 Jenkins County budget proposal, we both wanted to just say thank you for the opportunity to share this with you today. Thank you.
We're looking at our budget objectives as we go through and our goals for our school year and for our academic learning for our students. And one of our first priorities will be to maintain all teaching positions. Those positions will be teachers, assistant teachers for classrooms. We want to make sure that all students have an adult in the classroom, as many adults as we can have, and maintain all of those positions without cutting any. We also want to maintain our class size. The state is mandating that we reduce our class sizes, and we already have that in place at this point for next year. So if we maintain that class size, we're one step ahead already. We also want to address our graduation rate, which is 73.6, and we know we need to make that, address that and get that much higher. We want to address our reading and math skills in K-8 as well. And we want to begin and support early intervention programming through our budget objectives this year. And this year we want to make sure that we're able to maintain our fund balance. Last year we had to dip into our fund balance and take out $1.9 million in order to pay for our 65 teacher assistants, and this year we would like to maintain that without dipping into that balance at all.
The first part of our expenses, additional expenses this year, comes in the form of personnel. And like Crystal alluded to in our budget objectives, we want to be able to maintain all of our positions. We're not going to add any positions, but we also cannot afford to lose any positions either. Like she said, we value the work, the hardworking adults that we have in our schools, and we want to keep those people with jobs. And so in order to do that, we've got to be able to support 65 teacher assistants, 49 teachers, 10 assistant principals, 5 central office staff, and 817 classified employees. So the cost to do all of this is approximately $6.7 million, which is an increase of about $1.3 million from last year's budget. We have some additional expenses as well. Again, as Crystal alluded to, we think one way that we can help support our teachers is to provide 8 teacher coaches. So this will be a new position in our district, and as you'll see a little bit later, we're not we'll find money to cover this cost, but at this time it's an additional expense. We didn't have these positions last year. And then we also want to support a reading and math intervention program for our elementary schools. As I'm sure you're well aware from the local media coverage, the Jenkins County Register, that our reading and math scores in our elementary schools were low, and we need to do something to address that. And kind of part of that too is we believe it's finally time for Jenkins County to develop a pre-K program, and so this budget includes the beginning of a pre-K program here in Jenkins County. So to do these, this will cost an additional almost $1.3 million. And then finally, we have just some unavoidable expenses. As you know, we've got some additional utility costs. We've got some payment to the local charter school. We've got the second year of a laptop lease that we've got to pay on. and then we have just some Medicaid and some other insurance increases. And so to cover those, that's a little over $1 million. So all told, Crystal and I, are proposing that we need to add about $5.16 million to the Jenkins County budget for this upcoming school year. And of course, we've got a plan of how to kind of cover some of those costs, and Crystal is going to go through that at this time.
Our first area is we have 4 state allotted teaching positions that we are moving into that will become coaching positions. We also are going to shift some federal money from the alternative program and services coding in order to help pay for our middle school coaches. Then we have an increase in our Title I funding, and that's going to help pay for some of the middle school coaches, as well as pay for the software and 5 TAs to work in a computer lab setting for our K-5 students. And then we have our pre-K program that we would like to get started in Jenkins County, and the Jenkins County Foundation has graciously given us a grant in order to fund our pre-K beginnings. And then we're going to transition 20 TAs to part-time. However, we're using the attrition, and those positions will then become part-time rather than moving someone from full-time to part-time. And we are making a transition from our maintenance staff in the same way with using attrition, and then those positions will be moved to contract. We have some very expensive transportation needs with specialized busing, and we're going to start moving that to contract, which will save us additional funds. And our child nutrition profit, our child nutrition program makes a profit which can go into our increases of expense, which will help with our fundings of these adventures. That total savings will be around $4.76 million to help fund all of these plans and objectives.
So just to kind of summarize what we've shared and projected for you today, our projected additional expenses, which is our personnel, additional, and those unavoidable expenses, totals just over $5 million. The moving around and shifting of some money that Crystal shared with you will save us about $4.76 million, which leaves us a difference of $407,000 or $407,000. What we are here today to request graciously from the commissioners is a budget increase of 2%. We know 2 years ago times were tight and there was no budget increase granted, and we know that last year we received a 1.5% increase. We believe that getting this additional 2% increase from the county commissioners for the 2017-2018 school year will help us support those objectives that we kind of talked about at the beginning. We get to maintain all of the positions of Jenkins County schools. We wouldn't be cutting any positions, and we would also we'd be beginning to support an early intervention program by establishing a pre-K program. And then this also gives us an opportunity to help in the high schools to help improve the Jenkins County graduation rate. So once again, we thank you very much for your time today. And at this time, Crystal is more than happy to take any of your questions. Thank you.